What makes a body beautiful? Is it youth, muscle, balance, a strong jaw, a narrow waist, a body that looks disciplined, controlled, almost perfected? Every age creates its own image of the ideal body. We see it in athletes, movie stars, fitness culture, fashion, advertising, and social media. But the idea that beauty can be measured, that the body can be judged by proportion, did not begin with us. In the classical period, Greek artists asked one of the most influential questions in the history of Western art. Could beauty itself be measured? That question shaped two of the most famous works of classical Greece, Polykleitos Doryphoros and the Parthenon. One measured the ideal body, the other measured the ideal temple. Together, they show us the classical ideal, beauty shaped by proportion, harmony, and control. The Pythagorean tradition held that harmony could be understood through number. In music, pleasing intervals, an octave, a fifth, a fourth, could be explained through simple ratios. Harmony was not just a feeling, it was a number made audible. In classical Greek art, that same idea becomes visible. Beauty becomes a system. Not nature copied exactly, but nature corrected, refined, and made into an ideal. And no sculpture expressed that idea more powerfully than Polykleitos Doryphoros, the spear bearer. The original statue was made in bronze around the middle of the 5th century BCE. Like so many Greek bronzes, it has been lost. We know it through Roman marble copies, fragments, and later descriptions. But even through copies, the idea is clear. The Doryphoros is not just a statue of a man. It's a visual argument about beauty in human form. Polykleitos was not only a sculptor, he was also a thinker about proportion. He wrote a treatise called the Canon, a rule, measure, or standard. That text has not survived, but the Doryphoros seems to have embodied it. Beauty could be created through the relationship between each part and the whole. A finger, a hand, an arm, a torso. Each part belongs to a larger order. This Greek idea is often described with the term symmetria. Not symmetry in the simple sense of left matching right, but harmony among parts. A body tuned like an instrument. Modern viewers sometimes reduce the Doryphoros to a formula, 7 heads, 8 heads, a set of measurements. But Polykleitos' deeper point was relationship, each part measured against the whole. The Doryphoros stands in contrapposto, but compared to the Critios boy, the pose is more complete, more confident, more controlled. One leg bears the weight, the other relaxes. One side of the body tenses as the other releases. The shoulders and hips answer each other in a subtle crossing pattern. The body seems still, but alive. This is one of the great achievements of classical Greek sculpture. Life held under control. The face does not twist with emotion. The body does not strain. He simply stands, calm, balanced, complete. This is not an individual man. It's the body transformed into a standard. Human form mastered by measure. And that idea may have mattered in very physical spaces. One famous Roman copy of the Doryphoros was found in a palestra at Pompeii, a place for athletic training. Imagine encountering this body in a space of exercise, competition, and aspiration. It was something to measure yourself against. But that ideal is also narrow. It's young, it's male, it's athletic, it's controlled. The Greeks gave the Western world one of its most powerful visions of beauty. But it also gave it one of its most persistent problems, the belief that the human body can be judged against an ideal. That same search for harmony appears in architecture. In classical Greece, a temple was not just a building, it was a measured visual experience. And no building represents this more famously than the Parthenon, standing on the Acropolis in Athens. The Parthenon did not rise from nowhere. It rose from a wounded city. In 480 BCE, the Persians sacked Athens and damaged the Acropolis. After the Greek victory, the memory of destruction remained. Under Pericles, Athens rebuilt the sacred hill, not only as a place of worship, but as a statement. The Parthenon itself is traditionally credited to the architects Ictinos and Callicrates, with Phidias associated with the larger sculptural program. Athens had suffered, and Athens had survived, and now it would turn destruction into marble, measure, and memory. But that marble was not innocent. Much of the wealth behind the Acropolis building program came from Athens' allies in the Delian League, a defensive alliance originally formed against Persia. Tribute, meant for common protection, was now helping to turn Athens' sacred hill into marble, sculpture, and glory. For critics, this was the problem. Athens was presenting the Parthenon as a monument to victory, order, and beauty. But it was also using allied money to announce its own power. The Parthenon was not only a monument to beauty, it was also a monument to empire. Dedicated to Athena, the patron goddess of the city, the Parthenon once housed Phidias' colossal Athena Parthenos, nearly 40 feet tall, made of gold and ivory. Its gold plates could be removed and weighed in times of financial emergency. This was not only sacred decoration, it was wealth made visible. Armed and radiant, Athena held Nike, victory in her hand. Even the goddess became part of the message, victory held in the hand of Athena. At first glance, the Parthenon seems simple, a rectangular temple surrounded by columns standing on a stepped platform. But the longer you look, the stranger it becomes. A modern optical illusion can help us understand the problem. Lines that are straight may appear bent. Spaces that are equal may feel uneven. The eye does not simply record the world, it interprets it. The Greeks seem to have understood this problem deeply. The Parthenon appears straight because it's not perfectly straight. The stylobate, the floor in which the columns stand, curves subtly upward. The columns are not plain cylinders. They swell slightly in the middle, a refinement called entasis. Some columns lean inward. The corner columns are slightly thicker, so they would not appear too thin against the open sky. Even the spacing between columns changes. If those inward lines continued upward, they would meet more than a mile above the temple. Almost nothing is mechanically exact, and yet the result feels more alive than exactness would. The Greeks understood that vision is not mechanical. The building was shaped not just for measurement on paper, but for the living viewer moving through space. Like the Doryphoros, it's an ideal created through adjustment, a balanced whole made to appear effortless. Even the number of columns participates in this logic of proportion. The Parthenon has 8 columns across the front and 17 along the sides. Its design is organized through repeated relationships, especially the famous 4:9 ratio. Order is not just placed on the surface, it's built into the structure. The Parthenon is usually described as a Doric temple. In Greek architecture, an order is a design system, a way of organizing columns, capitals, and the structure above them. The 3 major orders are Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. Doric is sturdy and simple, Ionic is more slender, with scroll-like capitals. Corinthian is later and more decorative, with leafy capitals. The Parthenon's main exterior is Doric, strong columns, simple capitals, and a controlled, powerful rhythm. But the Parthenon is not purely Doric. It also includes an Ionic element, a continuous sculptural frieze running high within the temple structure. And like so much Greek sculpture, these figures were not born white. They once carried color. That mixture matters. The building does not just repeat a formula, it refines one. Doric strength is joined with Ionic elegance. Mass is joined with grace. Structure is joined with movement. The same balance we saw in the body now appears in stone. The Doryphoros measures the ideal body. The Parthenon measures the ideal temple, and through it, the ideal city. Together, they show us the dream of classical Greece, that beauty, reason, proportion, and power could all belong to the same order. The Greek answer to chaos had become the classical ideal. But perfection is never innocent. The classical ideal is inspiring because it asks us to believe that form can overcome disorder, that beauty can be shaped through reason, proportion, and craft. But it also raises a question. What happens to age, pain, difference, and failure? Classical Greek art gives us a vision of the human being as balanced and whole. But human life is not always balanced. It's not always whole. And later Greek art will begin to feel that pressure. The calm body will twist. The ideal face will suffer. The world will grow larger, stranger, and less certain. But before that happens, Greek art gives us this extraordinary moment when the human body, the temple, and the city all seem to obey the same dream. And for a moment, it looks almost perfect. But Greek art was never only about beauty. It was also about stories, gods, heroes, memory, and power. That is where we turn next.